things, but let's go ahead and jump into it tonight. So, I don't have many announcements for you guys this week, other than it's just, status quo, business as usual week, which would be great. I guess if I'm thinking about it, and I'll remind you in the weeks to come, it does not need to be figured out right now. But Logan and I are going to Mexico from the 6th through the 13th. So it's about a month from now. So, in preparation for that, I will book calls with all of you guys for your assessments in lieu of them that week. So, if you start to look at your calendar for the first week of March or so, and you know your calendar out that far, great. Let's go ahead and chat that week leading up to that. But with that being said, again, I just want to put it on your guys' radar that that is coming up. Again, not something that has to be super urgent, but something for us to kind of think about. So, I think that's really all I had to share with you guys tonight. Otherwise, are we ready to dive into the call and share what Andy shared with us this last week? So I hope so. So I just want to first off say and thank you guys because every single time that I get to go to First Form, it's 100%. It's not me. It's a representation of the Invictus Corps. And what I was there for was receiving an award that's called the Community Captain. And a community captain is somebody in the community that is doing the work, that is showing up in the community. And obviously, the Invictus Corps is absolute proof of that. I think that anybody can come into our Facebook group and see what an incredible community we are, what an incredible group of individuals you guys are, and that you just set a different standard. You raise yourselves to so many different standards than most people, and you do things that other people could only dream of doing. What a lot of you neglect to understand, and it's not a fault of your own, I need to tell you this more, is that you guys get more done in a week than people may get done in a month or 2 months or 3 months. And that's not an exaggeration. And sometimes some of you get more done in a day than somebody will do in a week or 2 weeks. You all are very, very high achievers. And I think a lot of the times, with that high achievement comes a lot of pressure, which we're going to talk about pressure today too. But just know that every single time I go there, it's not for me. It's an extensivity of you guys. And I wouldn't be in the position that I am without you. I'm so incredibly grateful for you and that you put so much support and trust in me. But just know that that was an award that we all get to share together because it unlocks a lot more opportunities and things for us to, continue to go back to First Form. One of the main questions I got asked when we were there is when's the next retreat? When's the next retreat? When's the next retreat? Meaning people at First Form were asking me when I was scheduling our retreat for the fall. So here, I'm going to say it here first. Just don't miss it. All right. If you've missed the retreats, you better not be missing this one. And I know everybody who is at the retreat at the last one is going to echo me in the comments. So, all that to say, I just really appreciate you guys. And I'm very excited to share with you what Andy shared with me. So, again, having the privilege to be at First Form and to be around such incredible individuals, it's been something that I've been able to do multiple times, but actually, I've never had Andy sit down and come and talk to us personally. And it was really cool. I mean, none of us expected it. It was a total surprise. It was all of a sudden like, holy shit, Andy just walked in. Like, we're about to get learn today. We're gonna go to church, right? So for those of you that know Andy, you know Andy, but for those of you that don't, he's the owner of First Form. And his story is absolutely incredible. I'm not going to tell it for him because he does it best, but go listen to his podcast and really hear where he's come from in business. Absolutely no talent whatsoever, just a dude who like he says, was too stupid to quit. And look at where we are these so many years later. So I have a couple of points here that I want to go over with you guys because I think they're great reminders, but it's going to be some things that you've never heard of before. So, by a show of hands, with everything on in the world right now, and we're not going to get political or anything like that, but who finds themselves spending less time on social media? It's Julian and I, he's the only one I can see, but who just finds themselves spending less time on social media? I want to hear from a couple more of you guys because I do want this to be interactive. Heather said me. Emily said yes.
Absolutely.
Annette
Annette, this
said
is Annette.
yes. Annette said
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah, so I think that like Brittany said to me, it's exhausting. So there's again a lot of us. This is not common or not uncommon, right? Many of us are spending less and less time on social media. But I want to give you guys this statistic. And does anybody know what the dead internet theory is? Have you ever heard of that before? The dead internet theory. Julian has? Okay, I'm surprised. Anybody else? It's okay if you haven't because I hadn't heard of it. So I was like, I mean, I guess I could I could gather this. So what Andy shared with us is the dead internet theory is that you guys, 60% of the users on the internet are bots. They're not real. They are literally not real people. They are tons and tons and tons, hundreds of millions of accounts that are run by AI programs, that are run by these bots. Like they are not actually people. And when you look at it, it makes sense because the amount of people that use the internet versus the amount of people that are in the world versus the amount of people that are in first world countries or second world countries that have access to, things like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. People in third world countries don't typically have access to that. The numbers don't make sense, right? So where is this coming from? So 60% of the internet is fake. The first thing that you need to understand here is the experiences you're receiving on the internet are curated for you. That's what an algorithm is. Algorithms are there to make you see shitty stuff, to make you see bad stuff, to make you see stuff that humans ourselves never should have seen. We shouldn't be subjected to a lot of the stuff that we're currently seeing right now. So, what does that do? Well, again, inherently, what they thought was going to maybe cause greater divides or these different things, it's actually making people pull back from the internet. And it's making people get reconnected with communities and reinstated within their communities, which is a great thing if they have a community to go to. So, if you felt like yourself, you're backing away, you don't know where to look, you don't know where to turn, everything feels really heavy, you have a duty, an obligation, and a responsibility to showcase a community that's positive. That's what I absolutely love about the Invictus Core is AI will never replace us. No matter how good AI gets, there's a few things that AI will absolutely never replace. They're never going to replace concerts, right? Someone standing in front of you performing. That's never going to be able to be the same with just a computer system. Things like actual physical communities of us getting together, artificial intelligence isn't going to be able to replace that. So, a few of the things that we need to focus on right away is if we know that 60% of the internet is fake, then who are we looking to follow? We need to be following and finding people out there who are really truly doing the work, which is no different than why all of you gravitated at some way, shape, or form to the Invictus Core. Because you saw it was a community, you saw it was made up of real people and real people doing the work. But the other thing with that, with the dead internet theory, is you have to stop comparing yourself to people on the internet. Because again, you guys, 60% of the time, it's completely fake. The amount of accounts that I've come across, even in the last month or so, where I look and AI has gotten so good that these look like real people. They look like real bodies and they grow these accounts to maybe 150, 200,000 followers. And then they publicly announce that it was all generated the entire time. It's not a real person. It's not a real thing. Again, your experience is meant to keep you comparing. It's meant to keep you in the matrix, if you will, of thinking and seeing all these negative things. So it's not a bad thing, guys, to unfollow people if they don't make you feel good about themselves. If other people are only showing their wins and they're never showing the vulnerable side of things, it's okay for you to take a step away. But that was something that I didn't know. I mean, I've been on the internet for 10 years sharing my journey. And when I started, it was all real and it was all authentic. And it was just like one picture on Instagram. Reels weren't a thing, multiple pictures weren't a thing. It was just one physical picture. But knowing now that 60% of what you see is not even real, it's a little bit concerning. So, again, a reminder to stop comparing yourself to other people on the internet because you never even actually know what's real or not is really important. So, who's been victimized of comparing to someone else on the internet? I think all of us can raise our hand. Brittany's like, yeah, that's me. All the time, right? We do that every single day. But again, have you ever thought that your experience was curated so that you do that? Because it is. So continuing to find communities and places and spaces that you can show up in authentically is going to be important. And you know that that's going to be the Invictus Core, right? It's going to be within First Form. It's going to be within that ecosystem, but still. The second thing is, with all of that being said, if people are getting more and more offline and trying to get back in person, I feel like all of us have really tried to kind of find our place again after COVID. I don't think that I'm alone in saying that. It was weird. Everything was shut down for so long. Now we're kind of trying to figure out like, okay, yeah, gyms are back wide open and things like that. But still feels a little bit weird to like go back and do things sometimes when so much of that was taken away from us. But just like I said these three words before, you have a duty, an obligation, and a responsibility to be a leader in your community. Being a part of the Invictus Corps isn't enough. We need to focus on what are you doing, sure, within your four walls and your family at home, but also what are you doing in your community? In the way that you show up at the gym, are you a positive person that somebody could come up to and they could start a conversation with? For example, Brittany just started going to a step class, and I think your cousin's going with you, right? So, how fun is that? She's bringing somebody along with her to something in the community. So I think that a lot of us are just, we're focused on, again, our four walls, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's time that we start to branch out and we say, hey, like, come along with us. Let me show you what I'm doing. Share what you're doing. Just like my announcement was maybe last week or the week before of like, do people know what you're a part of? Like, do they know that you could be a resource for them? Because I want you guys to ask yourself this. You all think it in your mind and you all wonder it. But what if you quit? What if you quit? What if you stop showing up to the gym? You stop tracking your macros, you stop eating healthy food, logging your food, getting your walks in, taking anything on your fitness journey serious. What if you quit? I want to hear from you. What's going to happen? What if you quit?
I guess for me, I'd kind of just go back into my habits of just eating whatever I wanted,
Okay.
right? So, I mean, just not tracking, not going to the gym. Uh, Probably feel tired, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to the gym, which is people think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
But I feel more tired. Probably sleep would be affected. So,
Mhm.
tired, just maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more moody.
Sure. Moody, tired, and eating whatever I want, knowing that I'm not feeling my body the best. Absolutely. Heather said to hell in a handbasket. Couldn't have said it better myself, for sure. Jody said I definitely have awful mental health and would feel absolutely drained. 100%. For those of you guys that have kids, what would that say to your kids? Oh, all of a sudden dad was prioritizing himself for a while, but now he's not doing it anymore. Or mom used to show up and work out because she knew it was good for her, but she's not doing it anymore. Every single thing that you do in life, in some way, shape, or form, you're setting an example for somebody. You are setting an example for somebody, whether it's your parents, whether it's your friends, your coworkers, your sister, your brother, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whoever it is, you're setting an example. And if you quit, you can no longer set that example. We're not asking you to set a perfect example. We're just asking you to set a example that's moving forward in the right direction. That is positive. So now when I ask you guys to think about what if you quit? What if I quit? What if I told you I'm done with Train with Kelsey? I'm done with the Invictus Core. I'm done with coaching. I'm shutting it down. How would that make you feel? I'm sure a lot of you would probably be like, well, what the heck do I do now? Because I feel that way. I don't know what I would do without you guys. But what I wanted you to understand and why I asked you to think about yourself first and then think about something that's a bigger part of yourself. Because especially with the Facebook group challenge we're doing this month with the sweethearts and that challenge of seeing what we can do together as a community. I'm trying to bring back that community to really show people of what's possible, but also what's the alternative? Again, what if you quit? What if I just texted you and was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm not doing it anymore." And I give you no other options, no other resources, anything. I'm like, I'm deleting the Facebook group, I'm shutting it down. You'd be like, well, why would you do that? It's no different than when you think about it for your journey too. But what you have to say, what you just felt, the emotion I wanted you to feel is pressure in a good way. And we have spent so much of our lives and so much of the last couple of years running away from pressure. But pressure makes diamonds. Pressure makes plates in the earth shift and things move and oceans change and mountain ranges are made. Pressure is necessary. And it's not something that you should be fearful of. It's a privilege to have pressure that your family is relying on you to show up, that your kids, your coworkers, the people in whatever area of your life are relying on you. That pressure is a privilege. But you have to stop running from the pressure. And the pressure that you feel lets you know that you're human. Oh crap, if I don't get this done, I might not get X amount of goal. I might not get Y amount of goal. My kids might never know the importance of this, that, the other thing. Again, the pressure is necessary, so you have to stop avoiding it. But with that as well, you never know, you never know the impact that you're having on other people. And it's something that you're maybe only going to find out long after you're gone and you're watching your funeral from heaven. People aren't just going to come out of the woodwork and tell you how much you've impacted them. They're not going to tell you necessarily all the time how much you've changed their life. But you guys have no idea how many people are watching you. You have no idea how many gym regulars look and they're like, oh, man, there's Julian. Look at him. He just doesn't stop. You know, Brittany keeps showing up to that step class with her cousin. Man, I wish I need to do more of what Brittany does. Or you know what? Heather works from home, but dang it, I see her on her spin bike and I see her doing train with Kelsey every single week. Like she's still got it figured out. Annette, she shows up for herself for the morning before she goes and shows up in arguably one of the hardest situations in a classroom for other students all day long. You guys have no idea how much people are watching you. And if you don't show up, they're not going to show up either. And that's something in a really great way that I want you to feel so good about. I want you to feel so passionate about, but I hope that lights a fire under you and keeps you moving forward. Because the only reason that some people are showing up right now is because they see you showing up. And if you stop showing up, they will also stop showing up. That's what leading by example is. Leading by example and leading from the front, it's the only way to lead. So feel that pressure, feel that privilege, and continue to step into that best version of yourself. You're not just doing it for you anymore. When you commit to something like this, when you commit to such a monumental life change that you're going to do the work every single week with our team to get better and better and better, it doesn't just stop here. It's a ripple effect that you've committed to, and now it's an obligation to keep that up. I'm not saying that you have to be the perfect person and the perfect idol for everybody. I'm not saying that, but guys, people are starved for people like you. People are looking for people like you on the internet to follow or in person to associate themselves with. You guys are the trailblazers. And you will continue to be those trailblazers and you will continue to have the success that you have if you can keep these three things in mind. And this is what Andy left us with. One, understand your purpose. If your purpose is to show other people how to be a great mom, then that's your purpose. If your purpose is to lead by example through the line of work that you do, then that's your purpose. You are going to get to decide your own purpose. But you will help with your people that you're influencing. You will help them understand that they are not powerless. So many people view themselves as powerless, that they can't change, they can't do this, they can't do that, they don't have the talent, they don't have the financial situation, they don't have the time, that this, that, the other thing. But every single time you show up and you exemplify your purpose and you show up in that way, you teach people that they're actually powerful and that they can take that power back. There is nothing more impactful than showing somebody through your own actions what they ultimately can act on in their life. So always remember your purpose. Second, remember, you are in control of most things. You always can control your attitude and you always can control your effort. You can't control other people. You can't control the weather. You can't control traffic, but there's a large majority of things in life that you can control. So if you focus on your attitude and you focus on your effort, what that's going to show people is you care more than everybody else. Be somebody who cares more than everybody else. If somebody comes out for a walk with you, let's say that they join you on a walk, send them a text the next day and say, you know what? I really enjoyed our time together yesterday. Thank you for making that the time. Thank you. Thank you for coming with me and spending that time with me. I was always raised, and my mom did such a great job of this. When anybody sent us a gift or something in the mail, immediately wrote them a thank you card and sent it off. It's just so important to get connected with people, to get connected back in those communities, to show people you care more than other people. Because what are people looking for on the internet right now that they're not finding? They want to feel loved. They want to feel valued. That's why they follow all these people. But again, 60% of it's fake. So you are in control of most things. 50% of every single problem is you. And I know that cuts so deep and that's so hard to hear. But 50% of every problem is you. Whether it be the working out, whether it be the nutrition, whether it be anything like that that you're showing up with, 50% of it's in your control. So always remember you can control those things. And the most important, number three, that you have to remember is gratitude. You didn't get here overnight. You have to be so grateful for the things that you have. Would you rather be somebody who was known for breaking a ton of promises and never keeping their word and never getting anywhere? Or would you want to know someone who's an incredibly high achiever and even if you fell short on something, you were still going to find a way to figure it out? Everybody wants to be the latter, but also gratitude's going to get you there. You guys all, you might not realize it, but you all are the people that, again, you're being searched for. You're being sought out for. And you don't many of you don't see it because you don't have an ego. So that's not getting in the way there. But so many people are starved for what you have. So many people are envious of what you've been able to build and the resiliency and the consistency and the mundane things that you do day in and day out. They want that. And you're going to start to see it this next year and the year after, especially as social media gets worse and worse and worse. You're going to start to see people say, "Hey, like I want to get back in communities." And communities can look like a multitude of different things. It could be a walk group, it could be a run group, it could be a Bible study, it could be, something at your church. It could be, going to the farmers market with the same people every single Saturday. It could be anything. But what I want to leave you guys with too is getting more involved in your community is so important. Even if it's just you and a friend going on a walk, great. That's community. Even if it's just you and a friend going to the gym and hitting a workout and you share your Formula One clear together, that's community. But it is so important that we keep doing that because the internet is dead. If 60% of it is dead right now, it's only going to increase to 70% and then 80% and whatever else it may be. So the pressure that you feel right now, again, remember that's a privilege. You're all absolutely here for a reason. And I'm so excited to see what you guys end up doing in the communities as well. And that's what Logan and I are here for. If you get to the point where you're like, hey, we got 4 or 5 people that are, we're going to get together, we're going to do a walk this Saturday, great. Call me, tell me about it. Logan and I will send you product. You want some energy drinks for that walk? Call us. You want some Formula One for that walk? Call us. We'll make it happen. We'll show up for you guys. We will get you that to continue to push the mission forward of how, what's the Invictus Course motto? Action outweighs inaction. Is if as long as we're showing up, we are getting better and we are moving forward. So that was really on my heart to share with you guys. And the very last thing Andy said before he walked out of the room is such a mic drop moment. And one of our First Home shirts has this on it, but it says, go put it on your back and carry it. I know it's heavy. I know it's hard, but we have to be the ones to put it on our back and carry it. And the more that we do that, the team will come along right side us. They'll add to the yoke and we'll all be pulling and pushing things forward together. So I know it's a little bit of a different call than I normally do for you guys, but I think it's important for you to hear from what somebody who's made millions and millions and millions of dollars doing building a community, where he sees the world going and where he sees that what we have right here is the Invictus Core, like where that's going to. So I want to hear from you guys. What's something that stuck out to you tonight? What's something that you took away? And if you need a while to process, that's okay too. But I want to hear it from you. That's okay, Heather. She can watch the recording. Yeah, Jody said it. Pressure's a privilege for sure. What else?
Okay, this is a little different than a takeaway. I guess it's not, but I've been very impressed over the last like month or so to start a walking club around town.
Yes.
Like scheduling one like, every Saturday. So I feel like this was like my like push, like go get it done. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my wake up call. So
I love it. I love it. And just think about, I mean, even like 45 minutes with someone like you, Brittany, who's so positive, and everybody else on this team. That's the best 45 minutes of somebody's week, of somebody's month, is just spending that time with you. So I'm all for it. If there's anything I can do to help you set it up, tell me and I will be there for you, hands down.
thank you.
I love it. Oscar said community matters 100%.
I would say that kind of like something that Jordan Peterson says is that it's take your cross, take up your cross, right? Basically, just kind of saying that there's a burden, and
Yeah.
that's actually the burden is your responsibility to kind of put on your back and just walk with it. So everyone
Yeah.
has a different cross, and that's what Christ is kind of talking about: is
Yeah.
take up your own cross and follow me. It's everyone's going to have their own burden, their own, and that burden is actually what is going to give you purpose.
Yeah. Just like you say before, Julian, your mess is your message, right? That's so important to think about too. I like how Emily said, I'm showing up. And when I first started, I got a lot of crap for it, but it feels so good to be motivating people now. Yeah, look at a direct ripple effect on this call alone, Emily, from what you've been able to do. Like that's so incredible. And Brittany, Emily said she'll come to Utah and walk with you. So that'll be good. Jody said, I've never thought about how different people in your life look up to you. It doesn't necessarily need to be a child. That is one thing that my fitness journey has taught me is it's not usually children. I mean, yes, it's children, but like it's the nurses that I work with that say like, do you really bring your lunch every single day? Yep, I do because I don't want to make the decisions that you guys are making from the menus and figuring out like is it going to throw your sugars over because both of you are type 2 diabetic? Like I don't want to do that, right? I have no interest in doing that. But that's also it. The things that are very simple to you aren't always simple to them. And the things that are going to be said are, how are you so motivated? When all of us know motivation's a fleeting feeling that comes and goes. It's like water, flows wherever it wants to, and you're not going to have it on more days than you're going to have it. So it's so cool to see you guys going to be able to impact your communities in this way too. But you got to put it on your back and carry it. So that's what I wanted to share
Just
with you guys tonight. Oh,
just
Julian,
to
go ahead.
piggyback, I just want to piggy off. Usually once a week so I carry this huge, big, like construction worker lunchbox with me that has all my meals.
Yeah.
And usually at least once a week I get what's in there. And then my ground beef and rice and my yogurts and all that stuff. And then usually I'll get, maybe every other week I'll get somebody being like, so how do I prepare, like what is your process for preparing food and what do you put on it and
Sure.
and just kind of just like, and like you're saying, maybe it's making impact, maybe it's not. And usually when
Yeah.
I talk to them again, they're like, actually I did try it, or I haven't tried it yet, but I will. Like, and just kind of being like, encouraging them every single time. Just yeah, go for it. If you have questions, let me know.
And that ground beef conversation turns into, oh, well, then man, how do you track macros? And then what do you use to track macros? And I'm really looking for some great recipes. Like it's just again, it's a ripple effect, but also it's starting conversations too, and it's getting uncomfortable to start those conversations, but also placing yourself in a position to have those conversations. And that's a really tough thing to do too, but also it's a necessary thing to do because I think that if any of you leave this call and you ask a good friend of yours or a coworker or something like, "Hey, in the last 6 months, have you spent more or less time on social media?" Everybody is saying less. I have not met a single person who's like more. Everybody is saying less, but then they need the support they're seeking online. We can be a light for them in the presence and in our communities. So I genuinely hope you guys at least took something from that. If it was one thing, if it was two things, great. But I want you to shoot me a message in the First Form app this week. It can be when you're turning in your assessment or after the fact if you want to go back and watch this too of, what's the main thing that stood out to you? Because there's going to be a lot of different things. I mean, that was probably 10 minutes of what Andy talked about, but it was so impactful that I'm like, man, I have to share this with you guys because I felt so called to share it with you too. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you took away from it. Shoot me over a message, like I said, and let me know. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and get those assessments turned in as soon as you can. And we'll be following up individually. So have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.